name is Chef Julio, and today we're making the ultimate Coquito. Coquito is basically eggnog, Caribbean style. Probably somewhere along the holidays back when one of our people decided that they had a little bit too much rum around the house and a boring eggnog and decided to spike it up a touch. We're going to cover the old way of making Coquito and the modern version. In making Coquito, we're going to use coconut, light or dark rum, or both if you wish, coconut milk, cream of coconut, we have evaporated milk, we have a sweetening agent in Magnolia condensed milk, half and half regular milk, we have cinnamon, ground cloves, nutmeg, I prefer to use the fresh, and allspice, eggs, sugar, and I'm going to finish it off with a little whipped cream. In making the old style Coquito, you have 3 eyes on the coconut and you want to find out the soft eye and poke a hole through it using a Phillips screwdriver. The second hole requires a little hammer. It's a little harder. You want to make that second hole because it allows air to go in and pushes the water out. And the water you can save for serving it later on chilled as a refreshing drink, or spike it with a little rum, and that's a popular way to drink it too. Or you can just hit it directly, or cut the coconut, put the rum inside. It's all up to you. In pouring out the water from the coconut, make sure that it's clear, not funny looking, rancid, yellow, creamy. You'll see that the coconut is nice and fresh once we crack it open. The next step is to put the coconut on fire. The fire will help to separate the coconut from the shell. Coconut milk and the cream of coconut, they both separate, especially in cold room temperature. So it's important to put both of them into some boiling water, and this way the waxy part of the cream of coconut will melt, and when you use the product it blends into our Coquito. It makes it a lot better. You want to leave the coconut milk and the coconut cream in the hot water for about a minute. Make sure that you rotate the coconut so that you burn all sides. It helps to separate the pulp from the shell. We're about to whack this coconut open. That's what you want. You want a coconut that's nice and white inside. And as you can see, it already started to separate from the shell. In the old style of making Coquito, the coconut had to be grated for you to get coconut milk out of it, and it was a bit laborious and dangerous. But this is how it was done back in the old days. It took a while. Coconut flakes that we're going to squeeze the milk out of are going to be used at the end for creating better texture and flavor in your Coquito. Putting the shredded coconut into a moist cloth. We're squeezing the cloth to obtain that wonderful coconut milk flavor that we are looking for. That's what took back then to create a little bit of coconut milk. Today we can simply open a can of coconut milk or use a can of cream de coco and get the same results, more or less. I always feel that the old way was fresher, gave you more of a coconut fresh flavor, but we need to move on and not do all that work. And here is the finished product. And there's the cream of coconut. Both these items are going to be used for making our coquito. In this recipe, we're going to make about a gallon of coquito. For that, we need about 12 eggs. 11 are going to be separated. We just want the yolks. One is going to be whole. We have that already in the bowl, and let's crack and separate the others. You can use your hand to separate the yolk from the white, or the other method is by using the eggshell. I'm going to add the spices on top of the eggs, and that's because I want the spices to blend into the eggs before I add the milk and the other items. It creates a better tasting coquito. You want the flavor in the coquito, not on top. The spices we're adding are nutmeg, cinnamon, allspice, and ground cloves. You want to add about a quarter of a teaspoon of each spice, except for the cinnamon. Cinnamon you can double up on. Nutmeg, you have to be careful. It's a very pungent spice. You don't want an aftertaste of cloves or nutmegs when you're making coquito, just the perfect blend. We're going to beat the eggs and the spices together. As we're doing that, we're slowly going to add the condensed milk, which is a very sweet product. We're continuing with 2 cans evaporated milk. And we're adding the coconut milk. And half and half. Half cream, half milk. If you notice, the spices are totally incorporated into our mix. To sweeten the coquito, I'm adding half a cup of granulated sugar. I almost forgot. When you're making a gallon of coquito, make sure you put in a tablespoon of vanilla extract. We're going to use a mix of gold rum and Palo Viejo, or the light Puerto Rican rum. At this time, you want to taste the coquito to make sure that the amount of rum that you put in is to your liking. Perfect. The reason why we chop the coconut flakes is so that they blend into the coquito and they don't clog up the bottle. we're adding a small amount of the coconut flakes that we squeezed earlier. What I like to do is to make sure that they're chopped up. We have a lot of coquito here, and it's always best to use a funnel and a nice large spoon. The ultimate coquito, and it makes a fantastic Christmas present, don't you think? And holidays just seem to go better when you have some coquito. It brightens up everyone's smile and it makes everyone feel at ease. And what you can do is, with the coquito, simply take some whipped cream, pour it on top, add just a touch of cinnamon, and you have Julio's ultimate coquito. Don't forget, you can get this recipe and others by simply getting my book, Cooking Columbus, The History of Cooking in the Caribbean. And this is a wonderful holiday product. I hope you enjoy it. Happy holidays. See you next time.